friends! So today we're going to be doing all fun cozy things. So we are actually decorating the apartment today. It got really cold the last couple days and the leaves are just starting to turn that nice red color and some of them are starting to fall. So it is time to decorate. In addition to some of the decorations, I thought maybe I could do some paintings for my hallway. I've been thinking I want to kind of do a couple paintings that I can change out for each season. So I thought, why not start for fall? So I'm super excited to show you guys those. On another note, I finished 2 of my books on my reading list for fall. I finished Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones, and I've also finished Bunny by Mona Awad. And I'm going to be talking about those a little bit later. I also started 2 of the other books, The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Marina Enriquez, and then I've also started Needle to Death by Maggie Stepton. So I'm going to talk about those a little bit later. We are also working on maybe a puzzle today or this week. We're gonna work on a puzzle. I always love working on a puzzle during this time, turning on some nice calm music and just puzzling it out for a little bit. And then, what else? I think we'll just kind of go from there. So we got decorating, painting, puzzles, and we're gonna talk about some books. So I hope you guys are super excited. I'm excited to share all this with you guys. And let's go ahead and jump right in. I generally will go all out for fall decorations. I think they just make your apartment feel warm and cozy and just so inviting. So I picked up some of these candlesticks, and then I also have some decorations from the last few years that I'll be reusing. But the candlesticks and also the candles themselves are both new. I thought maybe this would be a really great thing to add, one for just decorations on my table, but also for Thanksgiving, because they have that bright orange and then the black contrast. I think it's gorgeous. And then all my other decorations are actually decorations I've had over the years, like I said, and I'll reuse these as much as I can until I break them. But for the most part, these are all decorations I've bought over the last 2 or 3 years. At the moment, I don't have any real pumpkins in my apartment, not because I don't love real pumpkins, but because we're going to New York next week and I don't want any pumpkins to go bad in my apartment for the next 2 weeks while I'm gone. So I'm going to buy those when I get back, but for now I get to put out these adorable light pumpkins. I also have these adorable cotton pumpkins my boyfriend's mom made me, so I'm going to be putting those out with my glass pumpkins and my mushrooms, but not my plastic pumpkins. I think I'm going to leave those out this year. I also made these adorable pumpkins that are kind of creepy and spiders out of clay 2 years ago, and I followed a couple YouTubers, so I'll add those guys in the description below if you want to follow, but I think I'm going to be making new ones this year to replace these ones, because these ones are starting to get a little worn down. I like to change out the decorations that are around my TV just so I can have like a cozy feeling while I'm watching my cozy movies or scary movies, whichever one you prefer. And I'm going to be adding a tea light to my little box right here. I generally have fairy lights in this one, but the fairy lights aren't working, so I'm going to put a tea light in there for now. And then I'm going to add a couple pumpkins here, of course. And I love these cotton pumpkins, like I was saying, and they're so adorable and they fit so well with my aesthetic. And for the other side of the TV, I'm also going to be removing the pastel colors and turning on these adorable birch tree candles I bought last year for Christmas. I think they're really pretty though, and I think they fit all year long. So I'm going to just turn them on to add that like nice cozy effect. I love how they look, and I like how the wick dances too to make them look like real candles. And I wanted to add a mushroom over here. I couldn't decide if I wanted 1 or 2, and I think actually 1 works best on this side of the TV. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to be adding some paintings in my hallway, so I've already completed 2, and I want to do a third one which has a pumpkin and a coffee cup in it. And I don't know very much about painting. Painting's still very new for me. But if you're interested, I follow tutorials by a YouTuber, and I'll link them in the description below. And they're really amazing. They show you how to kind of blend all your paints, how to make things look really nice and really earthy. And I generally follow him for all of my painting tips when I'm trying to learn how to paint something new. So I'll add them in the description below so you can go follow their tutorials if you want. And good luck. I think painting's a great way to relax and kind of have some time to yourself. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here, is just kind of taking a moment and just having fun with some paints. I absolutely love how these paintings turned out. I think they add such a warm and cozy feeling right when you walk in the apartment. So this is in our hallway, right where our coat rack is, and it's just this perfect little addition of fall. So I'm really excited to hang these up, and I think I'm going to change them out every kind of season. So I'm super excited to start planning out my winter ones too. So, like I was saying, I finished 2 of the books that are on my fall reading list. I finished Bunny by Mona Awad. This was such a weird book. Like I said, I went into this book without knowing anything about it. I kind of wanted to be surprised because I had heard from people that they were really into it, that it was weird, that it was funny. I wasn't expecting like a dark horror, odd, magical book. I'm not going to spoil anything in it. With that being said though, I can't really talk much about it other than it being really odd. I think it's a fun read. It's a type of book I've never read before, and I went into it kind of really confused. In the first 15 pages I was like, what? And the next 100 pages I was like, huh? And then I closed the book and said, what? That's pretty much how my feelings went through this book. I still am confused about my thoughts, but I would read it again. I think it was a fun, weird, messed up, exciting, crazy, just mind-boggling. Honestly, that's how I feel. I marked a couple spots in the book because I thought they were like either really funny or really interesting, or like the way they explained things. Like this isn't going to spoil you, but there's a line in here that says, "A hybrid, the most obscure of academic beasts. What you call something when you just don't know what you're doing anymore." And I thought that was kind of funny and just kind of interesting, and I was like, all right, that makes sense. And after reading it, I actually went on YouTube and watched a couple videos about Mona Awad, and I watched a video about, I watched her preview on this book, and if you haven't seen it, watch it, because then you're gonna kind of understand the gist of the book too. It doesn't give anything away, but it kind of is like a little sneak peek behind the cover. So if you haven't seen that, I would really recommend watching it. I'll go ahead and post it down in the description below, because I watched it after reading this and I was like, that doesn't explain anything, but that does give you a preview into the book. So again, I would actually recommend this if you're interested into like a horror, magical, funky, dark academia-ish book. Really, really odd, and I would love your opinion on it too. This is actually going to go into my on the shelf, read again, not get rid of book. So definitely a fun, weird, odd read that still leaves me wondering what I just read. So that's Bunny for You by Mona Awad. And I also finished Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. This was such a fun read. I read this book in 2 days. It's not very long. It is a young adult book, so it's a quick, easy read. But it was just so well written. Like, the descriptions, the ideas, it's really funny. Like, I caught myself laughing when I was reading it. And it jumps right into the story, like, immediately. I think I was on page 32. The spells, the curses, everything starts happening already. And if you don't know the summary of this book, it is about a young woman named Sophie, and she ends up being cursed, and we end up following her kind of journey with meeting different characters. It's such a super cute book, and it ends really quickly too. So I swear in the last like chapter, we get the climax, and then we get like all of the other things after it. We get like the answers to all of our questions immediately after, which was kind of fast for me. I also understand why. It's a young adult book, so it's like, let's start the story, let's run in with excitement, and then let's go ahead and end it. So I 100% recommend this book. I would read this book probably once a year. It's such a quick read, such a cute read, and it's just so well written. There's a part in here that's super descriptive, and I just loved how it was written. So it's just such a cute read. Like, it's so well written. The scenes are just painted in your brain. So 100% recommend. A super, super cute read. I just started Needle to Death. I'm only in chapter 2. It's an okay book. Just an okay right now. It also has a lot of knitting things in it. Good thing I started knitting, because I wouldn't know anything that they're talking about if I didn't know knitting. So this has a very specific audience. It's okay. Again, I'm only in chapter 2. I'll see if I can get into it. Another one I'm currently reading, because they're short stories, so I read them before I go to bed, is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Marina Enriquez. I've only read 3 of them. I think there's like 10 or 12 of them. There's 12 of them. So I'll see how it goes. And that's kind of where I'm at in my books. I haven't started The Body in the Library by Agatha Christie, because I wanted to read Needle to Death first. So I might read this one next. But I also picked up some other books. I have a bad habit of doing that. But if you guys want to see what other books I picked up, let me know. I'll go ahead and I'll add those to my next video. Oh, and I wanted to talk about my series that I'm watching. There's a couple of them I'm watching at the moment. I'm watching Only Murders in the Building, which is one of the best shows. I love that show so much. It's just so fun, so cute, and just, I can't take enough of that show. And Selena Gomez, I love her outfits. I think they're just so adorable, and I'm thinking to myself, I need a jacket like that. So I'm watching that right now, and I really, really love it. I'm rewatching season 1, and we're gonna start season 2 probably in a couple weeks. And Stranger Things, of course, is perfect for Halloween. We're watching the last season that just came out, so season 4, I think. We're only a couple episodes in, but it's super creepy, and I love watching it while I'm drinking hot cocoa, so I've been doing that. Super fun show, really creepy, really kind of scary, so if you're not into scary shows, don't watch Stranger Things, but I think I'm late to the game. You've probably already watched it, and you probably already love it, but we're on only like episode 4 or 5 of season 4, so don't tell me what's happening. I'm kind of excited to see what ends up happening. And that's all the shows I've been watching at the moment. So those are the two like major big shows I'm watching right now in the fall season. I don't have like reoccurring fall shows. I just watch what's kind of like spooky and funky out there. I was thinking about watching Coraline soon, so I'm gonna pick up that one. With that, let's go ahead and start some other activities. Before it gets too dark outside, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up some of my bullet journal. I already have September done, of course, because September's almost over, but I have some stuff in here that's really important for my New York trip, and I'm gonna have to finish my October spread before we leave. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that a little bit, just to get the rest of my calendar finished, and then we'll see how the night goes from there. You never know, maybe we'll still get a puzzle in this evening.